Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is an educational channel that is geared toward looking at different theories of everything and maybe doing a little bit of comparing and contrasting, showing how they're probably all talking about the same thing, which is this wonderful universe that we're in. And today is the 252nd video that we've done on the reciprocal system of theory from Dewey B. Larson. And Mr. Larson was an engineer who lived in the 20th century and died in the 20th century in 1990. And was actually born in the 19th century in 1898. And spent about 60 years of that time working out his reciprocal system. The basic idea is that we live in a universe made entirely out of motion. Not matter, not energy, but motion. And for Larson, motion was the relationship between space and time. So space and time are not the container of the universe, rather they are the contents of the universe. And every kind of motion is a relationship between space and time. And so that includes all the kinds of motion that you recognize as scientific quantities, such as speed, acceleration, force, energy, matter, viscosity and fluidity, electrical capacitance, electrical current, electric charge, magnetic flux, permeability, permittivity, pressure. These are all fractions with time or space as the numerator and space or time as the denominator. This serves as a wonderful check on Larson's system. You can always multiply out the time-space relationships to get your equivalencies. And so it works very well for providing checks and proofs of Larson's system. Now, it does become a little bit complex because there are some constraints to space and time and some parallels. Space and time are reciprocals of each other. That's basically what it means to be the numerator and denominator of a fraction. For example, the reciprocal of 1/3 is 3/1. Okay, so that you're inverting the fraction and to get the reciprocal. Now, in Larson basically summed up his reciprocal system in two postulates that he came out with in the late 1950s, and from there he derived an entire theoretical universe by deduction, by deducing this universe from his original postulates. And the first postulate is that the universe is made out of motion. Motion is the relationship between space and time. This is not quoting, this is just paraphrasing, but space and time come in three or more dimensions. Three exactly, he would say, three dimensions, and they come in discrete units, and they also both have their scalar aspects, meaning motion that has a direction or has a magnitude but has no direction. So basically, the first thing that Larson says is that they are coordinate, meaning they have three or more dimensions, like coordinate space and coordinate time. We're accustomed to the idea of a coordinate space, XYZ coordinates, but that also adheres to time. And then we are accustomed to clock time The clock is always getting later and later and later and later. But we are not so accustomed to the idea of clock space that space is always getting farther and farther and farther apart. But the Hubble telescope did demonstrate that all of the, or observe at least, that all of the distant galaxies are getting further and further and further apart. They are receding from each other. That is the progression of space, or the flow of space. And then time and space come in discrete units, meaning that there is a minimum unit of space and a minimum unit of time. If you do not have one full unit of space, then you do not have space. And that means, by elimination, that you only have time. And if you do not have a full unit of time, then you only have space, by elimination as well. And if you have exactly 1 unit of space in 1 unit of time, then you have the speed of light. And so this sets up 3 separate boundaries in Larson's universe. First, you have the unit speed boundary. 1 unit of space in 1 unit of time equals unit speed. 1 over 1 equals 1. Unit speed is the speed of light. And the speed of light is a boundary, or really the midpoint of the universe. Half the universe is moving slower than the speed of light. Larson calls this the material sector. Half the universe is moving faster than the speed of light. Larson calls this the cosmic sector. And this sector is the sector that the legacy scientists know very, very little, if anything, about. Einstein, in fact, said that the speed of light is the maximum speed of the universe, showing that he knew absolutely nothing about the cosmic sector, which is what Larson calls this sector that's moving faster than the speed of light. But now, within the material and cosmic sectors, you also have what is called a unit boundary, a unit of space and a unit of time. In the material sector, you have a unit space boundary. Everything that's less than 1 unit of space is in time. And that is what Larson calls the time region. And that is a sub-region of the material sector that is, set aside for, atomic formation and molecular formation and interaction. 1 unit of space is very small. Like 1/20 millionth of a meter. But it is very large compared to the size of an atom. You can fit trillions of atoms within the time region. And the same thing holds true in the cosmic sector, where you have the time boundary, the unit time boundary. If you have less than 1 unit of time, then you only have space. Larson calls this the space region. And within the space region, you have cosmic atoms and cosmic particles and cosmic molecules, or what the legacy scientists would call antimatter. And so you have basically these 4 different sectors of the universe that interact, and when you cross these boundaries, the rules reverse, and the roles of space and time reverse. For example, in the material sector, you have coordinate space and clock time. 3 dimensions of space, and time is progressing. But in the cosmic sector, you have coordinate time and clock space. Space is progressing. And you have 3-dimensional time. This is a way of thinking that we're unaccustomed to, but we probably could pick it up over time or space. Okay, now Larson, like I said, then he developed his his whole universe out of this theoretical universe. And he wrote many, many books on these various topics that he derived from his theoretical universe, including books on chemistry, astronomy, physics, atomic physics, metaphysics, economics, and other subjects until he died in 1990. Now, after he died, or even while toward the end of his life, he had some followers who contributed to his work, and some also revised his work to a certain extent. And then after he died, this person, Dr. Bruce Perret, came around, and he came up with the reciprocal system 2. So this was a re-evaluation of the reciprocal system. And Perret basically did away with Larson's second postulate, which was, the universe adheres to the absolute relationships. Its magnitudes are ordinary commutative mathematics. Its magnitudes are absolute, and its geometry is Euclidean. Perret felt that the geometry of the universe was projective, and that Euclidean geometry is just a subset of projective geometry. Anyway, he also, along with Dr. KVK Nehru, were instrumental in adjusting Larson's idea of the photon, and several other things that were adjusted. Anyway, we are looking at Dr. Perret's article here, which has to do with the hidden history of Homo sapiens. So he's extending the the reciprocal system to cover subjects like the hidden history of Homo sapiens, part 3 of his anthropology series. We've looked at the first 2 articles already, and this third one is called Homo sapiens ethicus, life, death, reincarnation, and ascension. And so we've gone, this is probably the 6th video that we've done on this subject. And so you might want to go back and re-examine the previous articles or the previous videos so that you can catch up. But hopefully, if not, you might be able to pick it up right here. This section is called Overview of the Mortal and Immortal Realms. The mortal realms are the realms in which we have physical existence. In the reciprocal system, physical can be either spatial or temporal. So the mortal realms are either existence in the material sector of 3D space or the cosmic sector of 3D time. When your consciousness is in one sector, the other sector has the appearance of the so-called afterlife. Most theological conventions consider where your consciousness currently resides is the mortal realm, and its conjugate, the afterlife, is the other realm. What many folks do not realize is that even when you die, you're still mortal, just mortal in the afterlife realm, and will, after a death time of experiences, get old, be born, and come back to life here. It is a symmetry of existence between the matter of 3D space and the ether of 3D time. The mortal and afterlife realms are just the opposite faces of the same coin. So when you go around the edge of that coin, you die on one side to be born on the other. The primary difference is that physical existence is valued by space, sensation, thinking, distance, and clock time. And the afterlife existence is valued by time, intuition, feeling, duration, and clock space. In the mortal realm, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and one is valued or judged by their actions, not their intentions. The material realm, or life, is based on spatial relationships. The purpose of our physical body is to sense and manipulate space. The cosmic realm, or afterlife, is based on temporal relationships. The purpose there is to intuit and manipulate time. Both cases require interaction between consciousness and the environment. The immortal realms are reached by the ascension process, breaking the cycle of reincarnation. To use the coin analogy, it is very difficult to jump off the face of a coin, but easy to do when you are making the transition around the edge. The most notable difference between the mortal and immortal realms is that the immortal realms exist beyond space and time, and as such, the valuing systems that we are accustomed to are very different. They take on a reciprocal form. There is little difference between thought and manifestation. So valuing is done by a concept similar to intention. However, in the immortal realm, the path to mortality is paved with actions. It is from this premise that we get the non-interference directives of higher beings, such as the ascended ancients of Stargate SG-1. Consider, once you have ascended, you did it because you no longer need to experience the physical interactions, sensation, and intuition present in the life and afterlife realms. In other words, you have graduated high school and have started attending college. But if one continues to have an interest in interacting with the physical realms, then obviously you did not complete a lesson there, which is why you have the motivation to continue interacting with the physical. Once that link is formed, it tends to get stronger, as an ascended being can greatly affect the affairs of the mortal realms, due to the fact that their thoughts will manifest as structure and action, substance, and force. Eventually, they get sucked back down into the reincarnation cycle to figure out and finish off the lesson that they failed to learn. So, when one gets cast out of the immortal realms, they return to mortal status with some knowledge of higher learning. But that knowledge is often misunderstood, as the mortal mind/brain does not have the mechanisms to comprehend non-corporeal lessons. Okay, now this section is called Ascended Laws of Non-Interference. Do interactions between the mortal and immortal realms occur? Yes, frequently, but it is seldom a physical interaction. It normally occurs during a tween time, an in-between time, the edge of the coin, high noon, midnight, sunrise, sunset, birthdays, anniversaries, doorways, windows, bridges, shadows. Anytime a new cycle starts or opposites become connected. And it is done at a thought or conceptual level that can provide some very insightful information. but is still up to an individual to act on it. Physically, since that is the dictate of mortal existence, it is from this interaction that we get the concept of spirit guides, ascended masters, avatars, guardians, et al. There are times when the thoughts and intentions of someone in the mortal realm pokes through to the immortal realm and gets the attention of the immortals. It is usually associated with a flash of insight about the nature of one's purpose in life. It does not happen often, but when it does, most choose to ignore it. Remember that the immortal realm is valued by intention. If a mortal does not intend to follow through by indicating no interest, putting it on hold, or just denying it, the offer of interaction will be withdrawn. It is usually a one-shot deal. When an offer comes from the immortal realm, it indicates that the recipient has a quality of character that would allow them to do bigger things than what biological existence would have them do. Something to note is that an immortal guide will never tell you to do anything nor act on their behalf. They have no interest in the mortal realms, but do have an interest in the larger picture, of which you can make a difference if you choose to do so. If you encounter a non-corporeal entity that wants you to perform an act on their behalf, you probably have another mortal in between lives that has used projection to gain access to this side. The immortals simply give you access to an enormous realm of knowledge and experience, and like a librarian, will assist you in finding what you are looking for. But you still will have to read the book and act on the knowledge. Interaction between the realms is a free will choice, and hopefully uninformed choice. Okay, that's the end of that section, and the next section is called the conjugate realms, this world and the other world. And we will start that next time out. This is a little bit difficult material, once again, and you might want to just go through this multiple times and go through it slowly to kind of get all of the finer points out of it. I need to do the same, and hopefully we will work our way through this article and be able to make full sense of it over time. But you know, this stuff is not kindergarten, and I don't think anybody would really want it to be, right? So it's worth the time if you put in the time. All right, that will do it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.